Okay,
Oh,
Devlog 2.
hello. Hello again. We're doing the thing.
We're
We're
back.
showing assets.
Yeah, so again, Project Tartarus from Six Studio. I am the programmer Rian. This is Slomo. He is our game designer, and this is our second devlog. And we are going to go over the environment. So, Shlomo, what are we looking at here?
We're looking at a swamp and it looks cool. It's great. You zoom in, like you go down there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Blom.
because you can't really see. Oh no, you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a cool fog,
Yeah, let me
low
actually
density.
lower my camera speed a little bit here. Bring it down so it's a little bit more, like, cool. Nah, nah, nah. There we go.
Yeah,
How's that?
you're doing a cinematic flyby. It's great. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can
So
see.
why don't you talk about what we see here? Why we have it kind of like this?
Right. So we're going for the low density foliage, so you can actually see as a player, and it
Right.
looks very very cool. Like just that atmospheric sort of look. Uh, you know, you can see stuff, you can engage with the stuff, you
So
can.
yeah, so we're gonna have we have these kind of bigger pieces of foliage as well, and we're gonna have a lot of that regards to the biome, which there are multiple biomes.
Yeah.
These bigger parts, they're kind of denser. We're gonna have stuff like this because we want to encourage the ability for people to kind of hide, but not necessarily like camping. So it gives you a little bit of coverage without sitting in a bush AFKing all day long. And not that you want to do that because we don't have growth or things like that.
It
But
breaks up your silhouette and it
right,
just makes it so that you can actually. It's the balance between being able to hide and being able to be more active that we're
right,
trying to
and
shoot for.
yeah, and so we have these big trees. They're kind of sparse. We're gonna probably replace these. We're actually in the process of working on it because we're not really big on these kind of chunky bits. This is just kind of temporary placeholders for the moment. We're gonna do very, very
Blobby
similar.
trees.
Right, we're gonna use very, very similar look, so it kind of still has the vibe that we're going for. But we wanna. You've got these kind of atmospheric big trees, and we have our ping system, which is kind of like a sonar. And these will block
Hmm.
it. So if I'm like hiding behind a tree right here, and somebody's pinging me from over there, I can hide here to kind of not get spotted if I'm like sneaking up on him or hiding from him, which is very useful. But
Yeah, because we wanted to have that the sense of actually being able to utilize the terrain
right,
in ways that weren't just, oh, I'm going to sit on the edge of a cliff or I'm going to sit in a bush.
we wanted the
We want,
environment to really matter.
yeah.
Right,
So that'll get covered later on in this devlog, but
right.
yeah.
So that
Uh,
yeah, so that's what we're doing. Again, we're gonna upgrade a lot of these trees because these are kind of again they're kind of a little too. We are wanting kind of a lower-ish poly, but not low poly. We're more aiming for stylized, kind of a darker, like '90s anime-esque kind of vibe, something like that. So we're gonna upgrade these and whatnot. But so this is the kind of swamp area. It surrounds this big plateau over here that is kind of the center of the map. Where you're going to have a lot of kind of encouragement towards activity, maybe some POIs up there. We're going to have cave
mhm.
systems and stuff. We'll get to that in a bit. But I will bring us out of the jungle and start heading over here towards the plains. So why don't you tell about the kind of biomes that we're going to have and that we expect?
So with the biomes in particular, we've obviously got the swampland thing. We got the plains. We kind of want to have like a few mountain bridges, like rock formations and stuff, highlands sort of stuff. Uh, Caves were mentioned as a thing, a possibility we can explore with the data layer technology with Unreal.
So I'm moving back up here towards we've got I actually need to speed up my camera a little bit now. Back towards the kind of like the desert area. A lot of these again are placeholders. They're
Mhm.
very kind of simple right now. We're gonna kind of clean this up and refine this and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. There's all these rocks. We're working on so you notice that they'll kind of they fade out. So that's part of the view distance. My view distance is kind of poop right now because I am streaming this while recording this while kind of playing this per se in the editor.
Yeah,
So, but
combination of factors that allow you to not make the game uh, expansive in a
right,
way for
yeah,
audiences.
right. So but it's a lot of my system right now, which is kind of
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I'm kind of playing on scalability of medium here. Otherwise, you could potentially do it quite high. It's very performative, even on a fairly low-end GPU. Like honestly, mine. I'm running this on a 1660 Super. I am recording right now. OBS is a beast, and it doesn't like recording to begin with. I am also streaming this to my friend here, our game designer. I have all this stuff loaded in, and it's very pretty. And again, I'm running on a 1660 Super, and I get about between 70 to 90 FPS on fairly high settings, which is pretty bonkers. And this is
Yeah, and I'm getting
again,
like 60 FPS on my rig, which is an RTX 2060, so
and again,
it runs really well.
yeah, again, this is all very much thanks to our very cool environmental artist. He is fantastic. So yeah, so that's kind of what we have for now as far as the plains and they got the desert bit up there and the jungle and all that stuff. And I'll show you the plateau as well. You'll notice right now it's nice and sunny. As I go in here, it'll start. We got this fog, and you can maybe see the rain. I don't know if you can really see it, but you see the kind of rain hitting the ground there, coming down. So we got this green kind of crazy fog. Why don't we go over these filters, these lines and what our intentions are?
Yeah, so we want to have, obviously, because this is a foggy POI, we want to have things in the distance be kind of like seen but not recognizable unless you know you've played the game
Silhouettes.
for a lot. Yeah, like a silhouette.
Yeah, like those
So
trees.
it adds to that sense of, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm in this area, it's very foggy.
Um. So yeah. You can see these lines. This is part of our Laplacian filter. It is designed to kind of create like a kind of comic book or anime-esque look. You can see these
Mm,
black lines moving over things to kind of outline them. We're still working on it. It's still kind of fresh, but it's super cool, and we're really wanting to push that kind of like dark 90s anime vibe. Think like something like Berserk or what have you, right? So
or Akira, even Akira.
Akira,
Yeah.
yeah, a great huge inspiration, stuff like that. So we have that, and this is a plateau, and you can just see like the wind just bustling, pushing all that foliage around and stuff like that. And this is it's a big area that is largely kind of, you could look out from pretty much anywhere over here and just see below. And again, the view distance is kind of poop right now because of my system settings. If you have a better GPU than me, which almost everybody does, you'll pretty much see trees all over them all the way up there.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we got this big plateau. We're looking to do again like POIs, kind of like instancing. So sort of like how dungeons work in like an MMO where you can instance into it and resolve and work together to do things and stuff like that.
Yep.
Right. And also we're working on a cave system. So why don't
Yeah,
you?
like we want to have like verticality with the map,
Right.
and one of the things we want to do is obviously do caves and cliffs and
So both
uh
upward and downward verticality.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that way, because this map is pretty small, so we want to have,
Well, it's small right now unless you're actually playing in it.
yeah, it's small in comparison, but
Right.
we
It's
want to
about
have
I
the,
believe like a 4 by 4 kilometers. I believe I'm not completely
yeah,
certain, but
yeah, it's 4 by 4.
which we're gonna
So,
expand on as we get more players. We just don't want people to come into this massive open world that feels empty. So we want the
hmm.
map to grow with the player size, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then when we start adding these vertical elements, it'll make the map a lot bigger anyway. So that's kind of why we want to have it. With stuff like different passages, different cave systems that you can use to navigate through the map and stuff.
Yeah. Like imagine coming around the corner and there's this like hole, like this cave built into the wall right here, and you gotta, go in there and we're gonna have world bosses, we're gonna have world events, things like that. The environment is really going to matter and be interactive. So
Hmm.
it's a heavily PvP game with PvE elements. A little bit
Yeah,
of flavor for every preference, if you will.
yeah, because we can just have content be consumed by players, that want to say they have a preference for PvE. They can hop on a PvE server if the server settings allow for that stuff.
Right, and
And
since we're
same with
going
the
to be,
PvP.
well, since we're going to be renting out, because we're building our own servers by hand, we're not buying them from anybody. We're not having anybody build them. We're doing it ourselves.
Mhm.
And since people will be able to rent servers for an actual affordable price from us, there's going to be a ton of options in the hands of server owners to really customize their servers and their preferences and offer that to players, right?
Yeah, because we want to make sure that everyone has a game experience that is catered to them
Yeah.
and accessible to them.
Right, yeah. And as far as accessibility goes, why are we not seeing lightning right now? Why don't you explain that bit? Because that
Uh,
matters.
yeah, because lightning it hits the eyes for certain people, and it's also an epilepsy photosensitivity thing.
Right.
So we want to make sure that obviously, they're not hurting themselves whilst playing the game, because one, that makes us look really bad, and two, you
We're
know,
trying to be
we don't want
sensitive.
to have people
We are trying
get
to
hurt.
be sensitive towards accessibility, and we want that to matter, and we want people to feel like anybody is going to be able to play this without being limited by like disabilities and things like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That matters a lot. So we do have weather and lightning and things like that, but they're currently not showing as we don't want to hurt anyone that's watching this. We'll do future videos with that. Right now, again, we're just showing off the environment a bit. I love this transition. It's so stark. Also, the map might feel unnatural, and it should. And why is that, Shlomo? This is not a natural, real environment in the game lore.
Yeah, so this is like an exoplanet, like an alien planet sort of thing.
Right.
And I believe, because I'd have to talk with the writer, um, the plan is to just make the world feel as unnatural and synthetic as possible in a way.
So you have these
So
abrupt
you have these
changes.
abrupt rocks, you have the changes in
The
ambient
biomes.
lighting and stuff, the biomes.
Yeah.
You basically have the Nostromo on the outside, like not Nostromo, LV-426, the planet from Alien, like the crags and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, Contributes to having that very almost fabricated.
It
This was put
yeah.
here for a purpose
It
sort of
feels
vibe.
super unnatural. It's abrupt. It's kind of like intense, and that's kind of what we wanted to go for. And again, we're still doing some iterations. We're still coming up with stuff. When I say we, I mean our environment guy because I just plug things in and he sends them to me. That's him. I'm not okay. I have no claim here. That's all him. I might have made a tree. You'll see if I've made it. You'll see if it's been accepted by him. We'll find out. But that's about it. So yeah, that's our environment, going over all that stuff, some of our intentions. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comments because we will go over them. We will answer them. We're also gonna start doing some live streams and things like that to answer questions. And just kind of making the community feel like they actually are involved and their thoughts and their opinions matter, right? So, Shlomo, anything else you want to cover? We got like a minute or so left.
Uh, no, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, so that's Devlog 2. I think we've done pretty well. We will keep coming out with these. We're hoping to do maybe like one a week. Does that sound about good?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to make sure that
It depends on what's
obviously,
being produced, obviously, but yeah.
yeah, but we want to make sure that you're in the loop and we're
Right.
not leaving anything up to speculation,
And
and
if
we
you
have a clear, concise design process.
and if you
So,
really want to be in the loop, join our Discord. It's fun. There's information and all kinds of cool stuff, and you can like talk with the devs, and we're nice, and we won't be mean to you, and we like hearing ideas. We love suggestions. We love feedback. We love all of it. So come join us. It'll be in the description. There'll be a link. And all right, that's about it. All right, Shlomo, you good? Give me your outro.
I'm very scared, but peace.
Okay,
That's my
bye.
outro.